Hi, Raman and Anand. Nice to see you guys. Raman and I have already had a conversation about this, and I'm finally meeting you for the first time, Anand. I have to thank you guys for taking the time and being part of this. My name is Georgie. Just to give you a brief introduction, I'm the co-host at Angel Stack. What we do is we try and give a space for early stage founders like yourself to be able to put yourself out there, get some visibility in front of both investors and a couple of other eyeballs. To start off with, I'd like to ask both of you to give me an introduction about each of you, and then we can move on to the product that you're building.
Sure, I can go first. And thank you, Georgie, for having both of us here. It's great to hear that you're building a community and giving an opportunity for startups, young companies like ourselves to talk about what we are doing in a world which is becoming more and more noise. Thanks for that opportunity. So, with respect to myself, I am Raman. I'm based out of Bangalore, and I've been in the tech industry for nearly 2 decades now, primarily in the area of e-commerce, digital transformation, and fintech as the key domain areas, and worked with companies like Intuit, Cognizant, ASOS, Comcast across different geographies. And I think at a point after a couple of decades of the industry, looked at, hey, what can we do with our skills? How can we do and solve for the common challenges that we have seen and we have come to understand? And that's when Anand and I came together. Uh, by means of education, I'm an MBA and an engineer, and it's been fun over the last couple of decades, and we continue to enjoy MobiGuest now. Anand?
Thank you. Thank you. So, my name is Anand. I've been in the tech industry for the last 25 years. I worked in Intuit for about 14 plus years and then in IBM in the remaining time. So, I was involved in the e-commerce and then the entire accounting space, payments, and to an extent payroll in Intuit as well as in IBM. So, predominantly in the engineering domain. And why this particular thought process is because we thought we should do something in a different domain and try out something. That's where we both got started.
Were you both familiar with each other in Intuit? Is that how you came together to start up building something together, or
That's correct. That's correct. We both, me and Raman, were part of the same organization, same team. So I was the engineering manager and Raman was the product. And then we came together.
got it? And can I ask you both whose idea was it to start something like this? How did that discussion bloom out?
It's interesting actually. While Anand has his version of how he wanted to leverage some of the things that he was observing in the industry, and I was looking at a similar space, and we were trying to see how we can fill some of those gaps. So essentially, the idea came into being as a culmination of our experiences as travelers and from observations as what we were seeing others talking as well as ourselves seeing in the hospitality industry, and the opportunity which was evolving a lot, like post covid, the opportunity in the hospitality industry became much larger. There was revenge tourism, but at the same time there were trends in the tech industry around the hospitality industry. The talent itself started to walk away because during covid time the hospitality industry had a very rough time. And then we are seeing a lot of AI coming into being, a lot of conversational platforms and enterprise messaging coming into place. So we were seeing that the technology is ripe for an area and an industry which is facing all the more challenges and have been a laggard in adopting the technology. So when we looked around, our observations and customer discussions, our own experiences, and how the industry is evolving, we both happened to, through our own lens, talked about something very similar and came across the hospitality industry, something which we can take a stab at. At that point, we didn't know what to do. So Anand had few more ideas about some of the tech. He he brought them forward. We both discussed it, and then I think we started to shape into what has become our mission today. So thanks to Anand, I think he started to put some thoughts which we further built on, and and MobiGuest was born.
Brilliant. Now, can you, in very simple terms, like you're explaining to a 10-year-old, tell me what MobiGuest is, who it's for, and how you're monetizing it?
Yeah, 10-year-old may not want to monetize, but if I were to just say, see, at the heart of who we are a company whose mission is to power the delightful conversations between businesses and guests, right? So from a 10-year-old, if I were to tell them, right, today, if they need anything in their rooms in the hotel, or if they are sitting in a restaurant, for example, as well, and they need something, any service from a hotel, any restaurant. Today, that experience requires them to work through landlines, look at various paper menus, probably walk around and see what's there available. We have converted and made that access to the services and the communication between the business and this guest quite simply, and created a digital touch point very simply as a MobiGuest, right? So now imagine this 10-year-old would just pick up the phone, open the WhatsApp of this hotel by scanning the QR code which is sitting there, and can ask any questions and get automatically response very easily. Can look at the menu of the food, order it, and get it faster than what would have been otherwise possible. No language barriers. And any servicing that they need, right, becomes very easy through MobiGuest. So I would tell this 10-year-old that you know how to do WhatsApp. You just start asking what you want. You can speak into that WhatsApp if that's what you like. And those services that the businesses have to offer, they come in your hands right away, right? So that's what our goal is. And through this as well, we are building ways for businesses to also communicate easily with the guest. So imagine that 10-year-old walks in and there is a kid with that family. You are a kid. You would immediately get the relevant messaging about you. Like, for example, if there are events that are happening related to the child friendly events, so the system would automatically apprise you in the WhatsApp again about what's happening for you. It can do a lot more. It can tell you what's personalized for you, and it keeps the conversation going in a very familiar environment like WhatsApp. So that's how I would tell them. Obviously, there is more to it. How we help streamline the operations, how we collect feedback, how do we do the overall experience delightful for the guest, helping them boost ancillary revenue for the business, and streamlining their operations in a way so that it becomes more digital than relying on paperwork and a lot of operation manual tasks that they are usually able to.
Got it. Around the same concept that you have, do I, as a customer, is it possible for me to actually book a hotel through this platform, or is the touch point only after I've checked in or right before check-in?
So currently our focus is post booking through checkout kind of an experience as a digital touch point. So MobiGuest at the moment is not helping with respect to the room booking, although that's something that we may see in future. At the moment, our focus is you have booked a room, and now how your journey is communicated, the whole engagement that happens between the hotel and the guest, that is, right? So the things would automatically work in terms of using the services in the hotel, upgrading your room as well, collecting feedback as well, order booking, booking your spa, for example. Even the AC is not working, you can put in those requests. So all of those post booking to make your whole stay experience or your travel journey experience more smoother is where MobiGuest shines. Although hotels can continue to engage with these guests after they stay as well because we have already engaged with them, we have their contact information. So it can definitely help strongly with the repeat and direct bookings once they have stayed. So that's something that we could do.
Uh, so would I be right to call this a like a AI concierge model that you have?
Absolutely. It's an AI powered WhatsApp concierge. Uh, uh, and that's very unique. If you look at it, WhatsApp has been used in the hands of customers, and when it comes to from an enterprise messaging perspective, WhatsApp has been a tool primarily in two areas: marketing and support. So what we've done is we have taken these two, plus we have added a lot of use cases around getting information access easily through automatically. We have also enabled ordering of various services very easily with the hub, with the WhatsApp at the hub of all these services. Now you can, any guest can basically ask any questions, book any services, get any support, servicing, all through one single experience, or a single digital touch point as a digital concierge for the hotels. And now recently we have also included restaurants as well in the mix. So imagine you are the person who is just walking into the restaurant. You can just scan it, go into the WhatsApp, it will give you the menu, it can give you the recommendations if you wanted to. Our menus are smarter. We are leveraging a lot of AI in order to help you what you would like, what would pair well with your food items that you have done. And it can also support discount, loyalty, and so on and so forth, so that the whole experience becomes very, very personalized for any guest. So what you are seeing may be different from what others are probably seeing, depending on your past preferences or your general preferences are.
Got it. There was something very interesting that I had actually heard of back in 2013 or 14 while I was working for a corporate, where there was an incident where one of my vice presidents, he was traveling to, I think, Hong Kong. And then because he had already stayed at Hilton in another city, somewhere like in a different part of the world, he was the person who approached him to take his food order had already known that he was allergic to prawns. Now that was a good customer experience from his point of view because he did not have to go through this whole uh, language barrier of telling the other person that listen, I'm allergic to prawns, and like they're just not suggesting it to you that listen, you should not order from this page of the menu because this is allergic for you. So from a hospitality perspective, the fact that as a customer, I am being valued to an extent where someone is already aware of my allergies and they're not suggesting that food for me. I think it's a brilliant thing. Now, from a hotel perspective, right? Like, I just want to say, I mean, that's the positive side of things. Now, I just want to say, personally, if you ask me, uh, from a hospitality standpoint, the human touch is a very important element for me for in terms of hospitality. Now, if I go to an Airbnb, if I want like a local auto rickshaw, or if I want to find like a local event there, it's possible that or even for the Wi-Fi, I possibly make a call and ask the owner for these details. Now, if that is actually provided to me over WhatsApp, I do not mind because I don't want to have that human touch point at that point because I'm not expecting it for, let's say, 3 to 5K or 7K max that I'm paying for the Airbnb. But then when I'm paying 50K for like a room at the Hilton or like a Marriott, automatically I'm kind of expecting a bit more hospitality. So does that not take away my hospitality element when I'm having a digital touch point with a WhatsApp chatbot?
Right. I think, and Anand, keep me honest here. See, the MobiGuest mission is to offer a choice, right? It's not, the mission is not to eliminate the human out of hospitality. It is focusing on giving you the choice and shifting the current challenge of being operational heavy and manual tasks, and shifting that to delightful conversations. So in your example, you talked about Wi-Fi as well. In your example, you talked about the prawn example as well, right? So when we look at these use cases as such, right, the goal is to take away the paperwork, drudgery, and bring it more delightful, but still giving that human choice in the mix. So for example, now if in a restaurant where MobiGuest is set up, you would scan the QR code and the menu comes, right? And this is your second time that you are going to that restaurant. Our system will automatically alert the restaurant owner and say that Georgie is here, and by the way, these are the things he had ordered last time. So we are not saying that restaurant owner don't do anything. We are actually telling them, please go have a conversation, and now you can have more meaningful conversation than asking Georgie, what would you like to have? Hey, you had this coffee last time. Would you like to try something else? Or by the way, it pairs well with this, right? So we want to bring them together by removing the drudgery out of it. Now, when you're ordering the food from online, from your room as well, you pick up the phone and you would probably could have some language challenges. You probably would end up asking, okay, what do you have? Oh, by the way, I want dal. Oh, sorry, we don't have it at this time. So you are again and again going back into what's available and what's not. Paper menus are not able to do so today. So we are giving that choice to the guest and not having them to come to the room and do it. You are sitting by the poolside and you can order the food. Why do you have to be in the room? The world which is increasingly location agnostic. Why are we still stuck with wires and have to have been in the room in order to even do anything? Imagine yourself coming home after a day of vacation, let's say in Goa, and you're coming back. All you wanted to know is like, hey, can you keep my food packed up? Maybe, right? Or you would like to know where is a pharmacy nearby. Having that power in your hands, having that choice in your hands, and having that access to the staff as well, right? Our system gives you direct access to the staff where you're frantically looking what phone number to reach at, right? If you're not in the room, for example. So we actually unlock choice, we actually unlock convenience, and we are looking to move the manual paperwork out of the things, right? When a digital check-in is possible, imagine you go there and you're filling up your guest registration card. That's all the interaction you were doing. Now imagine you don't have to do that because you have already filled it up, and now you are coming again that everything is available. So why wouldn't the front desk talk about something better? That person would tell you about what's close by, what are the recommendations. He's trying to build a relationship now instead of filling up that paperwork. So that's where our primary focus is, to take the drudgery out, to take the manual work out, to support people and in the hospitality industry to have better conversations. But Anand, feel free to add more to it.
I think you covered it well, Raman. So just to add one more point that Raman was talking towards the end, right? Many a times when we walk into the hotel, the front desk staff will be busy heads down filling the details in the either in the paper or in the desktop, right? What if all the details are available and the front desk staff have a conversation with you, right? They stop you and have a conversation, help you guide what should be your stay and how the travel should be, rather than just talking about tell me your give me your document to fill this form, etc. Instead of that, it should be a lot more conversation focused. I think it is focused on high tech, but at the same time, high touch will not go away. In fact, it will even improve further with the high tech.
Yeah, there are training modules that talk about how much time will you take to cover the information to tell the guest. And they take targets like 60 seconds. You have to tell what is a breakfast time, what is a Wi-Fi access, what is the spa times, what is this and that, right? Now, when a guest checks in a place where MobiGuest is set up, the only thing this person sets, it's like, hey, you will just receive a WhatsApp message with all the details with you. And these messages also have buttons, like very interactive interactions, where you would say, get Wi-Fi access, and it will issue it there and then. You forget about it, it will give you again because you can just ask it. You can speak into it, right? So the convenience of the regular day-to-day things comes easily. Now the person can say, hey, we have a breakfast at 9, we are doing something good there tomorrow, please join us, right? Now the conversation shifted to the next bit instead of the just telling the time of the breakfast. So that's those are thing. Video tours of the properties become more meaningful now. And how many times do you remember that information that people actually tell you at that time? Because you need that information when you really need and you are in the mood of it. You want to know the swimming pool timings only when you are heading there. You want to know the gym timings when you really need it, right? So today we are moving to a world which is 24/7 on demand, conversational, in my language, personalized for me, and technology can help make it happen. That's what we are trying to do at this stage.
Honestly, I think if I, let's say, went to like a beer garden in Bangalore and they told me this is what I've had previously, so this is my preferred beer, or this is the food that I had last time, did you like it? And ask me for feedback. And if I wanted to repeat the same thing or if I wanted to try something new, I think I'd be quite happy with it because it's like someone's already quite aware. Okay, like I was here before. I've been coming here for the last 8 months, let's say, but then nobody really knows me. But all of a sudden, I feel like, okay, maybe they're quite aware of what I've had previously and they know me as a customer. So I think that's actually quite interesting. Can you tell me how your growth trajectory as a team was like for the last, how long have you been around?
So towards the end of 23 is when we set up our company and started to build the team. We built the product for a good part of last year, 6 to 7 months, working closely with beta trials with a few hotels and resorts. Today, we are 50 plus hotels across Bangalore, Goa primarily, but also have presence in Shimla, Nainital, Jaipur, Nashik, Mahabaleshwar, in hotel sizes of different types where landlines don't even exist, or where the landlines do exist and they have a lot of activities in resorts, right, which they would like to engage the guests about. There's a horse riding starting at 4. We're waiting for you is the kind of engagement the hotels, resorts are doing, right? So things like those. So they're able to do that. So we have started the restaurant area more recently. We are a small team of, right, some 5 to 6 people at the moment, all based in Bangalore. And over the last year or so is where we have built the product, and we are continuing to now focus on expanding it further into north and south. These are the two focus areas right now. And yeah, that's been where we are in terms of our story trajectory.
Can you tell me about some of the challenges that you face as founders when you approach these hotel managements and they'd be like, we are not familiar with it. Is the technology quite, I mean, are they finding it difficult to adapt or is the conversation quite seamless for you?
Anand, do you want to start and I can add on?
Sure. See, I think one challenge is to your point, no, that you are talking about that hotel and hospitality is all about giving very high touch, personalized experience. So initially, the moment they see technology, the initial thought process is, oh, is it going to be reducing the entire amount of personalization, or will we be able to give same kind of experience to the guests? Right? They do. Many of the hotels do not want to move away from giving the kind of experience at the guest delight, right, that they are doing it today. So that is the first thing. So it takes some time for us to explain to them what exactly how our technology will help them to do it better rather than replacing things, right? That's the first thing. And second thing is, I would say this is a new area. I mean, probably in many places you can always compare and say this is something like this, right? But this is a new business area altogether. That's where I would say it is something that we have to completely explain to the hotel owners before they understand and be able to adopt the technology. And Raman, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, you rightly mentioned, Anand, it's a new category. The best version of technology in most hotels is I have a billing software. I want to fill the room, so I'm connected with PMSs, with channel managers, and over time, I think revenue management has also come into picture. There are operations bit that the PMS offers. So that's the farthest they went in the longest time. The first of the pioneers in the property management system, the tech for hotels in India started their operations back in 80s, right? And that's how it started. Then I think as the internet started to penetrate more and Wi-Fi became kind of a need, the direction, oh, I have a PMS and I also have the Wi-Fi, right? So most of the IT managers will be equipped like, okay, Wi-Fi I have to set up, I have to take care of PMS, right? And then the hospitality industry started to evolve, but it was only until COVID times, which is when people started to take QR codes more seriously because they wanted to have contactless experiences. So even in restaurants as well, the QR code started ubiquitous, and with our UPI in India, the QR code everybody understands how to use it. First of their version started in the format of you scan the QR code, you can see it in the PDF, right? Because many hotels found it challenging, like older times I have to change the menu every 6 months. If I have to change my pricing, the food items there are, which is a challenge, right? So they started to like it, even though they were arm twisted because of COVID. They started to like the idea of digital menus, right? And that's their mind started to work that I can show people things via QR codes without the real paper work, right? So that started to understand. But the challenge still became like, okay, this category is new. How can you take the full order as well? Then that order can be mobilized across all my departments and it can be tracked and closed. An order life cycle. The e-commerce started to come in, so people started to understand there is an order life cycle as well, which is easy and it can be happening outside and without the phone. I mean the landline itself, right? But they have not still thought about, okay, that the landlines can go away, right? So that still don't happen. So they always felt, okay, the good thing is your QR code will take into the WhatsApp. I think the conversation becomes easy when they say, okay, I don't have to install an app, which became very popular in early 2010s with Marriott's of the world and Hilton's of the world. They started to build their own app. Like the Play Stores and the apps started flourishing with so many apps and so much more. But in late 2010 onwards, there is an app fatigue that all of us started to set in. Like, who will install another app? I don't want to. Around those time during COVID as well, people started to move towards web apps. You scan the QR code, you get into the web app, and now you can access the services and you can do some of those things. Links started to come to you and whatnot, right? So that's how it started as well. But this is still not two-way. This is not conversation still, right? So when we started out, we were very clear we are not going to build another app. We were also okay that we do have a solution for a web application, like you scan it and you can reach it. But we felt that true solution will allow a two-way conversation very easily in a multilingual, familiar, easy interface like WhatsApp. So we actually went after WhatsApp more strongly, aggressively, and we built a whole experience around it itself, right? So this concept was very well received and understood by people as well. However, when you talk about challenges, right, which is your original question, so adoption of technology itself, they have yet to. We are in a transition stage, right? When we talk to people about it, they still have not come to the idea of like, okay, how can I optimize my human capital to focus on, let's say, service fulfillment, a real conversation making, a real work, than manual repeated work that they happen to do today as well, or paperwork. So that's one thing. We are in the middle of transition, which is what we are helping them understand. That's one thing we have to do because it's a new category altogether. The other bit we have realized in hospitality industry particularly is that most of the decisions are centralized. Right? So if you go to the front desk, they'll say, please talk to front desk manager. If you talk to the front office manager, he'll say, can you please talk to my room division manager or the deputy general manager? You talk to them, they'll say, can you please talk to manager? When you talk to them, they'll say, okay, can you talk to my MD? So the decisions are highly centralized, which means our cy- business cycles or the conversion cycles are slightly longer as well. If we are sitting in the room with the right stakeholder who understands the challenges of running a hotel, the operations part of it, and the visibility and control they need, right, with productivity and the kind of engagement they need to have with the guest. I think the sell is very easy, right? They just buy it. Like, hey, I loved it. We just have to reach that right stakeholder who is able to make the decision. And I think that's where our focus has been over the last quarter, that we are able to position ourselves in clear way of what we are doing, what impact we'll bring to the right stakeholder is what right now we are focusing on. So in terms of challenging, having those things ready for us and having the right distribution channel set up for us is the focus area for us at the moment. Uh, the other thing, I think from a technology perspective, we are seeing a lot of evolution. We are not seeing any challenges on our side, except one thing which everybody in this world on a SaaS perspective comes across is the idea of an integrated ecosystem, right? Now you are hotels will need to have integrated solutions where our products also work seamlessly with the other technology that they are using, whether it is Wi-Fi networks, whether it is your door lock networks, whether it is your property management systems, your point of sale systems. So we need to find the right integration for them, because we are not an all-in-one system, right? So working with these other technology providers is another opportunity area or a challenge area that we are trying to solve, right? So that's another. So these two are the primary two focus areas: finding the right way to distribute it to the right person and the right segment of hotels, and the right technology partners in the ecosystem to make this work for them in a seamless way. So these are two things that we are continuously looking at.
And we're talking about your team, right? Like, so you said you have 5 to 6 members at this point. Do you have like a marketing and a sales team already, or are we still scaling on the technology side of things?
So we have started to invest, like I said, over the last quarter or so in that area as well. In fact, typically, given how the overall industry is very wide and they are everywhere, right? If you look at it, we are looking at a global problem itself, right? Of communication and engagement, and where the only way of traditional landlines, paperwork, flyers, signage, these are the ways in which the engagement is happening between the hotels and the guests today, right? So it's a global thing, and what we have realized early on is we need to make sure that we are able to easily integrate into the existing hotel tech stack. That's one. Secondly, in order to distribute and sell the product, we have to work with other ecosystem partners. So, for example, we have signed MOUs with channel partners in North. We also have a team in South. So, we have started with a couple of sales partners, channel partners. We are also looking to do an outreach to hospitality consultants, for example, marketing agencies who are working with hoteliers for that. So we want to work closely with the ecosystem partners and build a hotel stack that works for everybody and there is value for everybody, right? So if they can help us distribute the software, it's a win-win for everybody. We know that the hotels will win, the guest would win, they would win, because there are rewards, right, as they distribute those products, and we will win as we multiply and scale. So we believe that the way to scale ourselves is to work with ecosystem partners, whether these are technical other hotel stack partners or hospitality consultants, agencies, them. We are trying to do an outreach with travel agencies as well. So we haven't really found the sweet spot, but these are the experiments we are trying to do. Marketing and sales is an area we are now building foundationally. We have our tech team, which include design, which includes our tech. We also have tech advisor, and marketing and sales is what we are looking to build more.
Perfect. Okay. So can you tell me in terms of funding, like, are you currently bootstrapped or have you raised friends and family rounds? Are you planning to raise funds?
We are not actively raising, we are bootstrapped right now. But I think our goal is to get this marketing and sales momentum in place, and then go out with a funding round. Our focus is probably have that initial friends and family round first, and then look at a more active either an angel round pickup probably early next year is when we are looking at.
Have you already started talking to investors, or are you still waiting for a good time and you've found the product market fit and then you want to move into that stage?
Yeah, to us, I think having that momentum built up and would actually build more confidence with the investor as well. This is how we are believing. So it will give us the right dilution as well for during the funding raise as well. So, like I said, early next year is when we are thinking. However, there has been outreach from investors in general. We probably would have spoken to a dozen of them in general without the pressure of like overselling or having them to invest, but to make sure that we can get some feedback from the investor community as well, how they look at it as an idea. Have they come across similar stuff in the market? So I think we can't build things in isolation if we have to look at the funding later in the next 3 to 6 months. So we wanted to have their sentiment understood and what kind of priorities that they have in mind before we really reach out to them actively, right, with the proposition. So we have bounced our ideas with them. We've gotten them excited to a point where they're seeing that, yeah, this area is gaining traction now. If you look at it, there are hospitality businesses particularly focusing on the guest experience tech, that which is our currently the core offering. It's gaining a lot of momentum in all markets globally as well. There are players like in US, Canary Technologies. There are many players in Europe as well, and there are APAC area as well. We are seeing a lot in Dubai as well. So there are mushrooming technologies around guest tech, right? They are already coming in, and there are a lot of momentum and investments coming into those as well, right? If you look at Canary itself, they were founded back in 2017-18, and they were funded twice in the last 2-3 years actually. 2020 overall raise of over a $50 million. Their revenue has jumped from 5 to 15, and now nearly early 20s as well as projected. So there is a good amount of growth in this kind of a tech guest experience technology. This is primarily more future looking as well. Like if you look at the Gen Zs and the Gen Alpha over the last 25 years, as they have come into picture, they are native. They're native to technology, right? They're digital natives. They are very much comfortable in picking up the phone and ordering something. They are more comfortable Instagrams. They are looking for more media rich kind of experiences. They're more focused on personalization, right? And they are more focused on 24/7 on demand, instant access to services, which becomes very challenging with the traditional means of offering the guest experience through landlines and paper menus, right? So we know that this is a very much forward looking view as well. I've talked to my friends in US as well. Many restaurants have now moved to a QR code kind of experience of ordering from the on the restaurant tables as well. So I think what we are seeing today as only in the hands of some of the high end restaurants or in some global chains, it's going to be very much common and ubiquitous across, right? And there are a lot of pressure on the hospitality industry as well in terms of getting the right human capital to engage with the guest in the way the modern travelers are demanding. It's not just the language, it's also about what they like. Imagine if you ask somebody, I have asked so many times people, hey, is this paneer sabji good or not? They would invariably not know because there are gig workers, they're moving around, they have no idea, right? What they are, right? There's not enough information. What would you recommend? No idea. Probably they'll pick up the most expensive dish on that side of the menu. So, that's something which is not going to set very well in the next 10 years, right? When the Gen Zs and Gen Alphas are going to be in the mainstream with money in their pocket. Right now, probably the millennials are paying for these Gen Zs and the others, but that's not going to how the 10 years from now the hospitality industry will be like. This is a $2 billion global industry, and it's definitely on the way in the next 3 to 5 years, a $7 billion opportunity worldwide. So, and world is becoming increasingly flat when it comes to traveling as well. And our vision is not just stopping at offering services to these guests in the hotels. I would love for Georgie to use MobiGuest to plan their end-to-end services. You are in Goa, you can book dinner cruises outside of what hotel offers, right? So we are talking to vendors who are offering these activities and events outside of the hotel and making them available in the hands of these travelers, right, while they are inside the hotel. You're spending 12 hours in the hotel, but you are not only using their services. So we are going to be unlocking a lot more and focusing more on end to end travel experiences, for these travelers, modern travelers. So those are some opportunities we are very very closely watching. You can look at trip advisors today. You can also look at Airbnb experiences. There are $1 trillion was spent on experiences outside, right, for the travelers. People are able to book so many from the Viator, and they are just 1% of the total opportunity right now, and they are growing really fast. So we mean to have these experiences available to the guests, to the travelers, to solve for their end-to-end travel experiences, including when they are staying in the hotels, when they're eating and dining. And that's our the end goal for us if we were to unlock where MobiGuest will be.
So talking about your competitors, right? You mentioned something about Canary Technologies. Are they also following a similar pattern with WhatsApp, or do they have a standalone app of their own?
So it's something in the middle, a web experience. So you will scan the QR code. It's still a digital experience. It will offer you an experience in a browser. So that browser will give you breadth of services. Primarily, we have seen these services sometimes limited to only the commerce services and not just housekeeping and so on and so forth as well. So they haven't taken the approach of WhatsApp. They are mostly web experiences, not standalone apps. However, there are a couple of others who have taken that approach as well. Like in Europe, there is a company called Runner, WhatsApp native. Uh, and they started around the same time as ours, from what we know. They are in Denmark based. There are also companies like Digital Guest, again, Nordics based company. They are more like a web experience as well. There are vouch concierge in Singapore. In India, this is a very new concept. We've hardly heard many, but I think there is only couple of other guest experience focused apps that we have come across, but both of them are primarily on the digital web experience side.
Can I please ask, let's say, if you had an unlimited amount of money to hire one person to do one specific task, what would that role entail, and what would that person be doing?
Okay. See, at the stage we are at, Georgie, I think I would give that money to probably, uh, you know, somebody who can sell the product at this stage, somebody who is networked well within the hospitality industry. So I don't know if I would, you would quote me anywhere for this. I'll probably go to, let's say, even the Marriott or the Hilton of the world and pick up their top person and say, hey, you know what? This is going to go wild and your guest experiences would amplify, engagement would go. So I would ask that person if I have the enough money to hire one person, I would pick up right now a marketing and sales focused hiring who can help us further
Got it.
distribute uh, our product. Yeah. Anand, I don't know if you want to hire somebody else.
Definitely, I think it is. We are at a stage where we want to increase our own sales, right? And the product is quite matured at this stage. Sales is our topmost focus, while we will continue to evolve on the entire AI as the AI technology continues to evolve. But sales is our topmost focus.
Finally, before I end this conversation, can you tell me what is the next 6 months going to be like for you? Like we are at 50, I'm guessing 50 plus restaurants and hotels. What are we planning to achieve for the next 6 months?
So the prime focus is to get into as many hands as possible, continue to harden the product. So we have also experimenting with a lot of other solutions for the hospitality industry itself, like catering solution is another one. So we are positioning ourselves as a solution that can help grow revenue for these businesses. So while continue to help them run more efficiently, delight their guests, right, with easy access to services, but primarily like how can we help the businesses to grow in the hospitality space. So our 6 months will continue to primarily get into as many hands as possible. So our goal is to get into a 3x kind of trajectory where by the end of this financial year, we are in the hands of 150 plus businesses, hotels, restaurants alike. And we also continue to listen a lot to our customers, keep improving the product to make sure that, they find relevance and we keep our customer promise of helping them grow the revenue for them, right? And delight their guests, engage the guests, streamline their operations. So we want to keep our customer promise. We want to get into many hands as possible, growing ourselves to a 3x to where we are right now.
Anand, do you got something to add to that?
Yeah, definitely. So, in the next 6 months, many hotels should find MobiGuest as part of their overall process, right? That's very important. And even the guests who come into the hotels start asking, hey, do you use MobiGuest? I'm already part of the MobiGuest ecosystem. Can I get through that, right? See, today if you walk into any hotel, probably or restaurant, you might be saying, do you accept Swiggy coupons or Zomato coupons, right? So we want MobiGuest to get there at least in some of the hotels, so that it will help us to get more viral and move from there.
Yeah.
Got it.
And one other thing, and Anand spoke really good. I think what made us feel good 3 months ago, or I think, yeah, 3 to 4 months ago in February, actually, when we met somebody at a trade fair. He has come from Shimla as a hotelier, and when we met him and we told about MobiGuest, he said, "Finally, I found you. It took me 3 years to find you. I've been waiting for this product to come. Someone like this who has built a product, and now I have better visibility into my operation." So he just signed up for annual immediately. He worked very closely with us as a partner, and he's continuing to be our cheerleader. So I think having that kind of a testament from our businesses as well as our guest end users, right, will be a great win for us over the next 6 months. We want to hear many more stories like those in our next 6 months, so that we are able to feel that this has been a worthwhile journey, at least while it has been brief so far. It has been a worthwhile journey to have that testament from our businesses as well as the guests, right? And see them using it to the extent they want and helping us further improve it.
Perfect. With that, I'll wrap it up. This was a great conversation. It was very insightful for me. I thank you both for your time. I wish you all the best. I hope you guys are able to raise the kind of funding that you require, and then you get to, I don't know, I'm guessing like 3,000, 5,000, and 10,000 at scale at some point. And yeah, that I can look back and say I was able to cover you when you guys were quite early. So good luck to the both of you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Georgie.